I've gotten a wide variety of reactions to the messages that I made about Daniel 8. Daniel 8 has historically been interpreted as being fulfilled in Alexander the Great when he conquered the Middle East all the way down to Egypt and all the way over to halfway through India. I explained that yes, that was a first and partial fulfillment, but as many prophecies are, everyone who studies the Bible knows that a lot of prophecies, most of them, are dual. They have one fulfillment sometime in the past, and sometimes they even happen 3 times, and then a future fulfillment. And most of those are being fulfilled are going to be happening in the end times, the times that we're living in. So I explained how, just to cut to the chase, I recommend you go and watch those videos and study Daniel 8 yourself. But to cut to the chase, what I explained is that there's a goat that is said to go across the whole surface of the earth without touching the earth, and we are told that that's Greece. I think that symbolically Greece here is representing the United States, because there's so much. Watch the video, you'll see how I tell all the similarities between ancient Greece and modern United States, one of which is that its language was the universal language of the time. That's why the New Testament is written in Greek. If the New Testament were written today, it would be written in English, in American English probably. Okay, so if you read that prophecy, you see that what happens is that the leader of that country that does the attacking it comes across the whole surface of the earth and tramples 2 other countries. Well, it's Media and Persia. It can be interpreted as 2 other countries, maybe Iraq and Iran, or just Iran. Some people say Iran and Russia. Because Persia is definitely Iran. Media can be part of Iran, part of, that one's up for debate a little more. And we see that the U.S. soon is probably going to be going to war with Iran. We would all hope that this doesn't happen, but it just seems like everything keeps going against, because both leaders of both countries the conflict doesn't seem to be subsiding. Okay, if you read through the prophecy, you see that what happens is the aftermath, just what did happen also in the time of Alexander the Great. After he dies, and that's what it says, the leader of that country will be broken. He was broken. Who knows what's going to happen to the current president of the United States I'm talking to you in December of 2008. But it says that he will be broken, and then his country, it says, his nation will be split up into 4 weaker parts. And that's what happened to Alexander the Great. All of the area that he conquered was divided into 4 parts. We know that. That's history. And many of you might say, yeah, that's why it's fulfilled and it was Alexander the Great. But read Daniel 8 and you'll see that it says 3 times that this prophecy is for the time of the end. And certainly 300 years after Daniel couldn't be considered the time of the end. And if the time of Alexander the Great was considered the time of the end, then what time are we living in? The post-end? It doesn't make sense. The time of the end hasn't happened yet. Now, we might not be living in the time of the end. The time of the end might be 2 million years from now. Who knows? Most of us don't think that. We think it's now. But it certainly wasn't 2,000 years ago, because how could the time of the end be 2,000 years ago? That prophecy was inspired. It was given to Daniel by Gabriel, who received it from Yahweh. And Yahweh knows what the end means when he says the time of the end. Yahweh is not confused by the beginning and the end. He knows what the end of this current world is. Okay, so what I want to do now is read a pertinent article that it was on. I'm going to include the link off to that side. It's from Bloomberg.com, which is a reputable magazine, and it has its own TV channel and everything. Well, they say here, it's just 2 paragraphs. You can read the whole article, though. It says, the U.S. will fracture... Oh, sorry. Let me give you I didn't give you the title of this. Is Russian professor says the U.S. will break up after economic crisis. Okay, so this is like a prediction by this Russian professor who studies economics and stuff like that. You can read the whole article, but here 2 key paragraphs are: the U.S. will fracture into 6 parts: the Pacific coast, the South, then Texas, the Atlantic coast, central states, and the northern states. Now we will see a change to the regulatory system on a global financial scale. America will cease to be the world's regulator, to be replaced by China and Russia, he said. Okay? So, I mean, it's just interesting that even this person, he probably doesn't pay attention to the Bible at all and even know about any prophecies, but it's interesting that even he sees that there's going to be some type of breakup to the U.S. The Bible says that this country that comes across the whole surface of the earth and tramples Iran or Persia will be broken up into 4 parts, not 6 parts. So this isn't unprecedented in history. We know that after World War II, Germany was split in 2 to make it weaker. Germany is considerably, even as a whole nation, East and West together, as it is today, is considerably much smaller than the U.S. So to make it weaker, it would just take dividing it in half. But the U.S. is a very big country, and even, I don't know if you've ever heard the statistics, but they say that if you just look at Texas as if it were a country, it would be rated somewhere as the 5th or 6th economy in the world, just Texas. And I think California is similar to that, like 5th, 6th, or 7th in the world as an economy. So they are pretty strong. And the rest of the world probably realizes that. And if the U.S. if there was some type of intervention from outside, believe me, I'm the first one to say I can barely believe that this could happen. But I do believe the prophecy in the scriptures. But it does seem mind-boggling that somebody who could possibly be strong enough to impose its will on the U.S. to be able to divide it up into 4, the way the Allied nations were able to impose their will on Germany and divide it into 2 halves to make it weaker. So, well, we'll have to see what happens, but I just thought that was an interesting article that I would leave with you.